Abraham Maslow, a psychologist born April 1st, 1908 in Brooklyn, New York, known for his famous hierarchy of needs, something that we use a lot in education. But why do we use it, and what is it, and how does it affect us and help us grow as educators? That's always been a big question. He's written many of books that talk about how you can achieve this hierarchy of needs, or how you can climb up that ladder. And it probably makes your mind tingle and makes you just want to learn.
What does this even mean?
So let me explain a little bit. Love and belonging and safety. I was close with my dad, but I didn't really feel like I had my mom, and my dad always worked, so I didn't really have anyone. Which, when I got to school, I would try to build that community around me, and I wasn't worried about my work. Not really in class. If I wasn't really engaged, and I would just draw or talk to my friends. I would do anything other than worry about schoolwork, because then I accomplished something. I wouldn't have anyone to be like, hey, mom, dad, I did this, I did that. So I didn't really care about the whole school thing. Although my personal teacher never responded or got to the bottom of it, there were people around the school that cared enough to figure out what was going on, and we talked about it and got me back on track to where I can graduate very high in my class. And now I'm in college, and now I'm going to talk. Now we're here in the classroom.
You're in class, sleeping student, withdrawn, don't panic, let's talk about it.
Now let's talk about how physiological and safety needs being unmet can affect a student.
I noticed your son was sleeping in class, and if he's not getting sleep at home, he won't retain the information or stay engaged. What can we do to make sure that he's getting the adequate amount of sleep? Down patterns, and I'll have a conversation with you each time, update you. I'll get the counselors involved as well. I'll have a conversation with them later. Okay, yeah, I understand. Why isn't he making any friends?
Well, sometimes if a child doesn't feel emotionally safe, they'll withdraw, avoid, or just be disconnected from everything. We have to make sure that we're emotionally connecting with them and building that field around them to make them comfortable enough to say, hey, I can go talk to this person. I want to go do this. But if they're scared and they're feeling like, oh, they're just going to hurt my feelings, or they don't know, they fear what they don't know, it can scare them, and they'll just withdraw. What we can do together is sit down with him and approach it with care, and don't assume or get on him for anything about it. And I'll talk to the counselors about having regular conversation with him to make sure that he's getting that emotional safety and security, and that we'll be able to have these conversations and talk to everyone.
Good evening. Welcome to the teaching portion of our lesson today. At the end of part 2, part 3, and part 4, they're going to be recorded on the regular video. I'm not going to edit or anything because I feel like these are the most genuine parts of it. The conversation is, what as an educator can you do to help this child get their needs so they can learn? Tabs and documents. If they come to class, maybe certain days you'll notice they're more tired than others. So maybe their parents work late one day and they get more sleep than others. And building trust. Now, don't punish your student for being asleep. Talk to them. Try to figure it out. Approach the situation with care. Approach it as if you were a concerned mother or a concerned father, whether you're a male teacher or a female teacher. Collaborating and communicating with the family in school would be one of the biggest things. After school programs with food. You can be, as an educator, you might think, oh, I'm a teacher, I can't do much. You can sponsor something like that. Connecting with those families in a way that they trust you with their child and that child trusts you. So if needs are not being met somewhere, they still have somewhere they trust to go. Your biggest hoorah would be asking them, what can I do to help you from this point on? Now that we've had this conversation, and now that we are a we, how can we get through this together so while you're in this environment of learning, you can learn to the best of your ability? Where in the classroom do you need to go? Do you need an extra 5 minutes before or after class or in between? Brain breaks. Teacher outline plan is a lot of things that I've explained in the video. And you have those places where you can connect, like genuinely connect with the student. So say your counselor provides services to the school or whatnot, and you can have a calm down corner that has sensory toys. They keep their journals over there, or they have access to go to the counseling center if something is wrong. Mini bars I was gonna have a mini bar, I don't know about anyone else, but just having snacks and things that they would need that they might not get at home. You can keep a mini fridge of waters, like anything that gets their brain in that educational mode, I would say. 5 to 10 minute brain break in between what you're doing. Like safety, this one really would be practicing boundaries. Again, talking to the parents or the guardians and making sure that they're safe and ensuring their safety while they're here, taking care of ourselves. So that way when we are out in an instance, we can regulate enough to say, okay, I know this isn't safe or I know this is safe. We can make those decisions and they react better because they can tell the difference. They'll know the difference, they'll feel the difference. Love and belonging, we would push for more conclusive activities. Everything, not hands-on partner work, but you have to connect. It'll make you want to connect. Inclusion in that, practicing friendship, what it means to be a friend, practicing respect and what respect is, what, you know, how that works, teamwork. Also, what comes with boundaries, expectations, and safety rules. This also goes back to safety, but it's also love and belonging. Esteem, I say for this, we will go not out more, but these are where I feel like filters come in. Because I see this person walking down the road, oh, I want that car, I want that house, I want this job. It builds them up, it opens their eyes, they get to see it. Awareness and self-appreciation. Any small victory, no matter what it is, you celebrate it, you talk about it. If he got one more question right than what he did before, if he had a 1 point difference, we're still gonna celebrate that. It builds the drive, it builds the motivation, they find out who they are, which also goes into life lessons. So yes, and then you have the self-awareness, self-reflection, the very top of the pyramid. For that would be you. You have to be aware of you. You have to be aware of where you are and what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you come off. How can we help them do that? By being aware ourselves. Okay, self-actualization is probably not my best suit because I am still trying to get there, so we're gonna do that part. As an educator, I will intentionally support my students' learning by recognizing that unmet needs can influence behavior and academic performance. In my future classroom, honestly, it's going to be a space for the students. If what's one thing that I believe in, that classroom will be more of a home than somewhere that you just have to come and write and learn and take tests or do this or do that. Like that calm down corner, those bean bags, not having all that technology in there, opening up the blinds, having them sitting together. You know, like if we're all sitting on the reading rug, I don't know. Like I really just want it to be something. It would really just feel like a home. Like if you need to, you know, we would have a system. I would communicate with each student, you know, when you need this, let me know. Or if you need, you know, if we need to make a signal for you to go get a snack because you don't eat a lot at home or struggling right now, hey, come talk to me after class so I can get you set up with the little food bag. Or, you know, if I talk to your mom, if it's okay, you guys come over for dinner sometime. Or I can get meal prep and we bring it to the school. Whatever, not as a public servant, but we are their servants in a way. We can't fail them, and to fail them, I would be feeling I would just feel like a failure. I really can't. But if it's one thing I can say that I would want in my future classroom, it's just for it to feel like a space that is yours, that is home, that you can still go to your friends or your other people, but you still know that I'm gonna get my work done, I'm gonna be successful, I'm gonna be a great individual, and my pyramid is just not perfect, but it's forever evolving, always, but my pyramid is where it needs to be. My pyramid is set, I'm good. I want that student to grow up and be like, yo, you remember our second grade classroom? Like, forget the teacher. Even if they forget me, they probably won't, but no, you remember that classroom, how we used to chill in the bean bags in the cool down corner? Even if we have to cool down, we don't have to call it the cool down corner, just bean bag corner, the reading corner, the chill corner, the quiet corner. Just, oh bro, you remember that one time where we was in there and we got to do a group project and we all got to, you know, run around and be ourselves and express it. Like, yo, you remember that time she let us bring goldfish? Like, I want it to be them exploring themselves more than anything. Like, yes, explore the world, fill all your head with the knowledge, but none of that matters if you are not a great or decent person and know who you are and why you're doing it. And that triangle kind of all starts with us as educators that are working with parents who are also educators. Because to be a parent is to be, you have to teach somehow. So we need to get together with them. I would have a space in the classroom for the parents. You guys, you know, they need you to come sit and watch for one day. We can make it work. We can make something adjust. All in all, why does this matter? It matters because it's what got me standing here right now. Figuring out those needs helped me get to college. It helped me to stay alive. It helped me to come to a point where you build yourself up so you can build up others. And I hope that I'm doing that right now because I wanted to do a big extravagant project and I still have the idea. But again, focusing on my triangle of needs is causing me to fall short with my school just a little bit. But yeah, raw and honest, that's all I can do.